That stunning lapse in national security. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, along with other top members of President Trump's national security team, sharing details about a planned large-scale attack on Yemen earlier this month on the commercial message app Signal, and inadvertently including journalist Jeffrey Goldberg on that chain.
I think that this is a spoof. I think that someone is running a hoax.
In an article published Monday, the editor-in-chief at The Atlantic saying just days before the U.S. attack on the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, he received a connection request from what appeared to be National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and was then added to a chat group called Houthi PC Small Group. PC, or Principals Committee, generally refers to a group of the senior most national security officials.
Could you imagine, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, but could you imagine getting that type of text on your phone from an app, and you're like, what is this? And then you look, and you see JD Vance name, you see Pete Hegseth, and you're like, wait, nah, something wrong. But you let it play out, and then you start getting top secret classified information about an airstrike, about an act of war. And you're like, wait, is this real? Is this real? How would you, I don't even know how I would react to that, but that's crazy. That's wild.
The reaction was, I think I've discovered a massive security breach in the United States national security system.
Inside the chat, the names of Vice President JD Vance, Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and others.
It's a robust conversation. It's actually pretty impressive in some ways. They're going back and forth. A lot of resentment directed at European allies of the United States, which obviously enhanced the credibility of this chain, because everybody in the chain sounded like the people I know who are.
He meant everyone sounded like a douchebag. Everyone sounded like a douchebag. I guarantee you they did.
In this administration.
Vance, who is normally in lockstep with the president, texting the group at 8:16 on Friday, March 14th, saying, I think we're making a mistake, pointing out that what's happening off the coast of Yemen affects European trade more than U.S. trade. I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now, Vance says, and suggests delaying the strikes for a month. Hegseth responds to Vance 11 minutes later, saying, waiting a month.
Wait a minute. Did JD Vance just disagree with the president of the United States, but yet doesn't have the guts or the balls or the cojones to say something to him? You're the vice president. You just gonna let it ride? No spine whatsoever. But we already know JD Vance was not a fan of Trump. He just wanted the position, so he bent over.
Does not fundamentally change the calculus. In what The Atlantic says is a screenshot of the Signal chat Goldberg was added to, at 8:45, Vance responding, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing out Europe again. Hegseth responding, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. The next day, March 15th, at 11:44, Hegseth posts a team update revealing the strikes would commence in 2 hours. Goldberg says Hegseth shared operational details of forthcoming strikes, weapons deploying, and attack sequencing.
I receive a text in this chain from someone who claims to be Pete Hegseth, who provides what I would only call a war plan. It became sort of overwhelmingly clear to me that this was a real group. So I'm happen to be in my car. I sort of wait with my phone to see if this is a real thing. Sure enough, around 1:50 Eastern time, I see that Yemen is under attack.
No one on the MAGA side, if you're going to make an excuse for this and say this is okay, never bring up Hillary Clinton again in her emails. Never. Matter of fact, you shouldn't have brought it up anyway, because Donald Trump was taking classified information and putting it into his hotel and wouldn't give it back. They had to, go to legal route to get the information back. But don't ever bring it up again. Okay, this is way past that. They're using a commercial app to have a group texting the wrong people. First of all, these type of conversations, if you've ever been in the military or you know anything about the military and classified top secret confirmation, communication, and classified information, it is all recorded and it's supposed to be stored and saved and then released at a later time, 10, 15 years at a later time. It's supposed to be documented. But for some reason, they're using an app that's encrypted that will sooner or later delete that conversation. Why would you be using something that's going to delete your conversation when you know legally and per the DOD and the federal government, it is supposed to be a recorded conversation, saved and stored and filed? It's because you want it deleted. That's why they're using this app. It's a bigger picture to this. They know they can use this app to have conversations about various things, show their true meaning, their true feelings, even if they disagree or agree with Donald Trump. They know that conversation will get deleted. That's why. They just messed up. But DEI hire didn't earn it. Pete Hegseth should know that, but he doesn't. He doesn't know that those things are supposed to be recorded and saved and filed and stored.
According to Goldberg, the administration officials reacting after the strikes, excellent, a good start. Waltz even sending several emojis. The White House National Security Council confirming the authenticity of the thread, saying, we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain.
And you know how they got in there. They was being stupid. Pete Hegseth was probably drunk. Probably just saw two letters, the initials, and put them in there because he has his contact. Put him in the chain, didn't think twice about it. And then they started conversation. Could you imagine the reporter? His mouth probably was like, the whole time he was probably looking at the phone like, oh my God. First of all, my hands are dirty. I just got off of work. But I don't even know if y'all can see my hands. But he probably was just looking at his phone and just going crazy. I would have just been in total shock. Now, how much you want to bet they go after him for not saying it, not giving or letting them know that he was in the group chat and he wasn't supposed to be? How much you want to bet they're going to try to have some legal grounds, because they're not going to take accountability. They're going to attack, because that's what they do. That's what MAGA does. That's what Trump does. He's created that culture for them to do that. I guarantee you they do that.
Dr. Gabbard, I didn't intend to get into the Jeffrey Goldberg story, but something you said has sort of puzzled me. According to open source reporting at 11:44 on the morning of March 15th, Secretary Hegseth put into this group text a detailed operation plan, including targets, the weapons we were going to be using, attack sequences, and timing. And yet you've testified that nothing in that chain was classified. Wouldn't that be classified? What if that had been made public that morning before the attack took place?
Senator, I can attest to the fact that there were no classified or intelligence equities that were included in that chat group at any time.
So,
and I
so the
defer,
attack sequencing and timing and weapons and targets you don't consider should have been classified?
I defer to the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Council on that question.
Well, you're the head of you're the head of the intelligence community. Yeah. You're supposed to know about classifications. So your testimony very clearly today is that nothing was in that set of texts that were classified. I'll follow up on Senator Wyden's question. If that's the case, please release that whole text stream so that the public can have a view of what actually transpired on this discussion. It's hard for me to believe that targets and timing and weapons would not have been classified. Well, let me move on.
It is absolutely classified, and she knows it's classified, but she's in that group chat, so she can't say anything. We're a clusterfuck right now. Excuse my language. The government, this cabinet, is a clusterfuck. Other countries are looking at us, especially our allies, and saying they are in shambles. They have no clue what they're doing. This is the time where other countries are going to attack our economy. They're going to attack our internet. They're going to attack anything they can to buckle us down, to break us down. And it's going to be the cabinet fault. It's going to be Trump's cabinet fault, and it's ultimately going to be Donald Trump's fault. This is sad, man. If you have any excuse of why this is okay, I would love to know in the comments. I would love to know. This is not even about MAGA and Republican and Democrat at this point. This is about national security. So if you're still here, hit that like and subscribe button. If you disagree with me, I would love to know in the comments why you think it is okay for them to have war plans in a group chat just because it's a commercial encrypted app. Let me know in the comments, man. If you're still here, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you next video.